Let's imagine what it means to be human. But really, there is nothing. No flint in your hand, no matches, no stove. You're simply waiting. When the sun disappears, so does your safety. When night begins, you're no longer the hunter. You become the hunted. You don't know what the darkness will bring, cold, fear, hunger, all together. Then one day the sky tears open. A lightning bolt strikes a dry tree, and it bursts into flames. The fire rises into the air, blinding, dangerous, unknown. And yet someone doesn't run. That first human doesn't look away. They're afraid, yes, but they stay. They don't reach for the fire with their hands. They hold it first with their eyes. Then slowly they pick up a branch. They pull a flame from the edge and carry it carefully, with trembling hands all the way back to their cave. There they gather bark, dry leaves, kindling, and light it again. That moment wasn't just the birth of light, it was the birth of will. Because seeing fire is one thing, but to carry it, protect it, and reignite it meant fire was no longer in nature's hands. It was in ours. And from that moment, it was no longer just about warmth. It was about extending time, about living through the night, about cooking, thinking, planning. It was about changing biology, reshaping society, rewriting what it means to be human. This scene may sound like fiction, but it's not just imagination. Archaeology tells us this moment really happened, and we can even estimate when and where. There is a major difference between using fire and controlling it. Borrowing it from a wildfire is one thing. Sustaining it, starting it anew, this is something else entirely. And that skill, domesticating fire, changed the course of evolution. Let's go back 1.5 million years. In the Swartkrans cave in South Africa, scientists discovered burned bones and blackened sediments. Some believe this shows that Homo erectus could carry and use fire. Around 780,000 years ago, in Israel's Gesher Benot Yaakov site, burned wood and arranged stones appear in regular patterns. This is no longer a coincidence. It suggests people were living with fire. Then, 400,000 years ago, in the Pech de Lazay cave in France, fire pits were built and rebuilt in the exact same spot, again and again. It wasn't just survival. It had become habit. More importantly, these fires weren't just for heat. There are signs of cooking, bones exposed to heat, altered by flame. Fire had become not just a tool, but a part of life. Cooking didn't just make food easier to eat, it transformed the human body. Cooking unlocks more energy, and in evolution, energy is everything. Our brains, for example, make up only 2% of our body weight, yet they consume 20% of our resting energy. That demand couldn't have been met with raw food alone. Raw food is hard to digest and offers less energy. Cooking broke down tough carbohydrates, softened plant fibers, and made proteins more digestible. This allowed more energy from less food, an evolutionary breakthrough. According to Richard Wrangham's hypothesis, the brain expansion seen in Homo erectus coincides with the regular use of fire. That's no coincidence. Our guts became smaller because we no longer needed massive digestive systems for raw foods. This freed up energy that evolution reallocated to more neurons, more synaptic connections, and higher cognitive ability. Fire didn't just change our diet, it shaped our biology. Smaller jaws, smaller teeth, flatter faces, all traceable in the fossil record from Homo erectus onward. And cooking did something else. It saved time. Raw foods required hours of chewing and digestion. Cooked meals reduced that to minutes. That small shift opened a vast new opportunity. Free time. Time to rest, to talk, to think. Humans began to live not just during the day, but also at night. Fireside gatherings began. Around that fire, people shared not only warmth, but stories, fears, calendars, ideas. Archaeological evidence shows hearths placed at the center of dwellings, surrounded by signs of social activity. Fire had become a circle, a place of gathering, a stage of storytelling. This is where the social brain hypothesis comes in. It suggests that the key driver of human intelligence was not tool use, but social complexity. Managing group relationships, understanding hierarchies, forming alliances, all required cognitive effort. The fireside was a natural setting for such challenges. But fire also provided something just as critical: security. The light and smoke kept predators away, letting humans sleep more safely, even in open areas. That security allowed for mental peace, and peace allows for thought. Once survival was assured, reflection became possible. That's when humans stopped merely shaping the world and started shaping themselves. At some point, fire stopped being just a tool. It became a symbol. It was warm but dangerous, illuminating yet mysterious. It burned itself into the human imagination. In nearly every ancient culture, fire was both feared and revered. Prometheus stole it from the gods. Maui pulled it from the underworld. Fire was a gift, but one with a cost. Even today, we light candles for mourning, blow them out for celebration, or sit before flames in meditation. Fire remains embedded in our deepest rituals. And from that first spark, everything followed. Fire gave us heat, which gave us steam. Steam gave us engines, which gave us electricity. Electricity led to nuclear power. And now we chase the energy of stars through fusion. Every energy revolution traces back to fire. A gas engine, a controlled explosion, a nuclear reactor, a controlled burn. Even solar panels are simply an attempt to catch the fire of the sun. Since that first moment, we haven't just cooked food, we've cooked thought. And even now, when night falls, we gather around the spark, not just to warm our bodies, but to continue the story. Because something still burns there, not just heat, but memory, imagination, and something deeply, unmistakably human.